Brodes Media.
Holy fucking shit! Holy fucking shit! Jordan Davis. What? What? Jordan Davis. He took it to the house. Fuck you, Sean McVay. Fuck you, Rams. Looking for revenge, huh? Coming in here thinking you were all going to go out and get your little revenge. Let me tell you something. The Chiefs thought the same damn thing. We have a special group led by quarterback one. Don't you ever fucking doubt my quarterback again. How many times? Oh, how many times have you heard this stupid little hypothetical? But Brodes, what happens when you're down a lot and the other team is daring Jalen to throw the football? Shove that up your ass. I'll tell you what he does. He drives downfield multiple different times, and then on fourth, with the game on the line, delivers. Special. And this is coming off of that first half. We've had some rough, and I mean rough, offensive performances under Nick Sirianni. That may have been the worst. -1 passing yards. You can't accidentally do that. You have to try to get -1 passing yards to get -1 passing yards. That's how out of sync it was. They were down, 26-7? Was that it? I mean, my brain doesn't even work because of how much adrenaline I got cooking in this body. It was 26-7. I mean, Sean McVay is a clown. The decision to punt definitely hurt the team. The defense forcing field goals over and over and over again. It was keeping this Eagles offense alive, and Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown. Now, why does it take so long to get that? I don't know. We have the 3rd and long, and you're conceding, and you're punting. Special teams, how ironic. Special teams, huge and clutch and blocking field goals. Yet they can't catch a kickoff. And now you're starting off drives with an already struggling offense inside your own 10. I don't get it. But when you gotta have it, Jalen, that's one of the biggest nutsack halves I've ever seen. He's screaming. I don't know, screaming's a little intense, but there was a little video footage on the broadcast of him looking at Kevin Patullo, looking at another coach, and you could tell he was animated. He was being the leader of the team. He was setting the tone. That Bush League crap is unacceptable. And they did it without Lane Johnson, which they never win without Lane Johnson. And I don't know whose decision it was to put, who was it in there? Matt Pryor in the game. It was most likely Jeff Stoutland, right? I guess. But whoever's idea was to put him in, that could have flipped the whole game. Because if Fred Johnson plays right from the rip, there's no turnover coming out of half, and that's a free 7 points for the Rams. Matt Pryor stinks. Matt Pryor can't play. Fred Johnson was a key contributor to the success that you had a year ago. He was so obviously the one to point to. He played well. I feel good about him if he needs to seriously start games. Truth be told, when they let him go in free agency last year, I thought, that's a big deal that you missed out on that type of guy. Then they signed Kendall Lamb, and I thought, all right, well, that's their idea of replacing Fred Johnson. Then they trade back with Jacksonville to get Fred Johnson. Why was Matt Pryor even an option? I don't know. But Jordan Davis, you know what's crazy? He's the personality of the D-line right now. Not Jalen Carter. Jordan Davis is the snarl of that defensive line. Jalen Carter with another dumb penalty, by the way. I give him credit for getting his hand up there. Looks like Georgia Bulldogs, right? Those two getting in the action and blocking a field goal. That's all lovely and dandy. But that stupid celebration afterwards is costing this team. And it's clearly going to be highlighted a lot more when you spit on Dak Prescott 5 seconds into opening night. It's unacceptable. I saw Jeff McClain of the Inquirer say that Devontae Smith was giving him an earful on the sidelines. Wow, what a game. What a game. Big fourth down stops. Jordan Davis getting Matthew Stafford on a big third down. Zach Bond to start the game. He was, at some portions of it, felt like he was the only one to show up. He was everywhere. Everyone else was having a tough time. The defense was getting gashed in the run game. The offense sucked. And your special teams couldn't field a kick. So you were setting your offense back, and they were already urinating all over themselves. They still managed away with the leader of men at the charge. That was such a strong effort and a mentally strong performance from your quarterback. And when they flipped the switch because their back was against the wall, it looked so easy, didn't it? Dallas Goedert right up the middle, hitting A.J. Brown. Then he had the sarcastic cheer by the fans afterwards. And good for them for that harsh boo early on. I even tweeted, and I prefaced it by saying hashtag emotional Brodes, which means it's not real and it's only in the moment. And I'm allowed to say it and get away with anything. I said, when they were getting bullied, I said in all caps, this team is getting bullied with 5 exclamation points. And I said, good. I want them to feel the same pain that we all feel when watching this vomit. Oh, well, guess what? I hope they're all feeling the same pride I'm feeling right now. And man, watching Jordan Davis. Let me do a little reenactment, okay? Let's go with one of those things where they go, boop. I don't know what boop is, but you know when they do a TV cut, they bring it in, they go, all right, the scene 1, and they director's cut. Okay, well, this is me watching. All right, here's the snap, and here comes the, oh, go! Fuck, go! Holy hell, I fainted. I think I blacked out for about 15 seconds. Started to sweat. It was insane. My wife was texting me saying, shut up. I said, you don't get it. Jordan Davis, he went on the Peloton, and he came out a different human being. I saw Next Gen Stats. Said this is one of the fastest a big man has ever ran since 2017. He reached top speed of 18.59 miles per hour on the return, which is the fastest speed by a player over 330 pounds since at least 2017. Here's Jalen Hurts in the third quarter, 10 of 12, 131 yards, 151.7 QBR, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Now, there's still stuff that needs to be worked on. There's something fundamentally wrong with this offense for it to be that gross. And truth be told, even some of these routes, right, these concepts, don't they seem so basic? AJ runs 10 yards, turns around. AJ runs 10 yards, goes to the left, the left sideline there. And it's just so blah. It's so basic. It's so, there is nothing to it. And I guess they keep alluding to them taking steps as the weeks go on and them incorporating new details with it. Maybe some of those quarterback runs that you saw from Jalen and some keepers was an added layer compared to previous weeks, potentially, because I know Patullo mentioned QB runs as sort of a facet of the game that may start to open up, but it does need to kick it into gear because it's unacceptable version of crap. But the fact that you could win, you won with playing a half of football. You played a half of football offensively without Lane Johnson. And in that half of football, you had Jalen getting rocked and the ball hitting the carpet, and then one play later, it's in the back of your end zone. And I don't want to hear it for a damn second. You got Rams fans crying, by the way, about the push-off by A.J. Brown for the touchdown. Don't you remember your first touchdown with Devontae on Reed Blankenship? All right, don't you remember that? That's a big deal. They let the guys play until the penalty with Puka. Listen, I don't know. The emphasis, clearly, every single broadcast was the league told every team you can't flex and this and that, and he flexed. I don't know what to tell you. If the NFL said, we're now going to pay attention to this, and he decides to do it anyway, yeah, it sucks. Figure it the fuck out. That's all. Figure it the fuck out. Do what you need to win the game. And then how about this one? The tush push thing. Oh, my God. I mean, I'm so sick and tired of it. The replay of Tyler Steen on one of the early tush pushes when they put it in extra slow-mo. And they're like, oh, yeah, look, he moved a half an inch before. You could do that to any fucking play in the NFL, whether it's a passing play. That's just like humans. They're just human. You could do that on any play, not just a tush push, any play, any game, and find that happening on that level of slow-mo 75,000 times. 75,000. It's so annoying, but they do it a lot better. If it was such a cheat code, why aren't you doing it on fourth down? Fourth and short. Instead, you're being a little bitch and you're kicking field goals. And you think these field goals are going to add up. And I think what happened was they realized that they've already made so many decisions to kick that maybe they felt obligated. Like, here we are. We've already kicked so many. I guess our mentality is let's just keep putting points up, keep racking points up. Their offense can't do anything. But they may have got cornered into it by doing it so much. You go down swinging with it, maybe. I don't know. Or Sean McVay, he does it. Like that punt, he does do that. I've seen Sean McVay make decisions that go, that was a little soft. It's not the first time I've ever seen that. Maybe that's a reason why they don't get over the hump. They're not aggressive enough when it needs to be done. Maybe. And speaking of aggression, I'm not going to tell you I love the decision on 4th and 6 right after you made that fourth down stop to go for it. In the moment, I thought, I don't really like it, but I prefer my team being aggressive compared to not. With the score of the game, the time of the game, if you wanted to pin the football back and say, all right, let's challenge the defense, I would be okay with that, and I would have preferred it. But I'm also cool with going for 4th and 6 because I want my team to be uber aggressive. I want that to be the personality. When I watch it back in retrospect, though, here's my issue. If Kevin Patullo is going to be softer than baby shit on 3rd and long and never trust this team to air out the ball and punt and concede nonstop, then that's your identity. Going for it for 4th and 6 there almost felt like I'm panicking, I'm nervous, the moment's getting a lot to me, and it's a knee-jerk reaction. I'm just going to trot my guys out there and pray. You know, I didn't feel it was a decision with conviction, like this is what I want to do, this is what I believe in, this is my DNA as a coordinator. It's the complete opposite of anything that we've seen out of Kevin Patullo. So from that perspective, I was wondering if, it was out of character for what Kevin Patullo wants to do. And it wasn't 4th and 2, 4th and 3. I think it's very questionable at 4th and 6 to go for it, even though I prefer an aggressive offense. They obviously ended up winning the game, so it's not going to matter as much, but it was a risk, and one that I think is very warranted to double guess, and it goes against what they've done to this point, but I do want it to be a staple. Maybe this is a transition period for him to get out of that not super aggressive mode to become more aggressive, and he needed a moment like that. I don't know, but that's how I felt in the moment. One last thing here, and then we'll just continue to talk. So I don't know why I said one last thing. How many times have we heard that Saquon Barkley is why the Eagles are so successful? By the way, this is no disrespect to Saquon Barkley, but forever, when it comes to Jalen, it was everything he does is all predicated off of Saquon Barkley. And there were reasons why teams would stare at the run game, and they didn't want to get beat there, and they didn't want to get gashed, so they put a lot of bodies towards the line of scrimmage and this and that. So we've seen it already. And we've seen it last year. There were reasons to believe that to a degree, but people went way too far with it to act as if Jalen did nothing. This was a game where Saquon didn't really get his normal production. This wasn't a normal Saquon game. Last time these teams played, he had 2 on, though. Whenever he plays the Rams, he murks them. Seriously, he puts them into the dirt. This was a very blah running game, and it's been a blah running game to this point, 3-0. It's not just the running game. It's a part of it. It's a team game. Look, I'm not going to tell you when things get really bad offensively that it's just it's not just the quarterback, it's everybody else involved, because that's the case. And when things are going well, it's not just the quarterback. It's AJ lowering his shoulder and playing tough. It's Devontae making important catches. It's Saquon on 3rd and 3. It's the offensive line. It's the defense putting the offense in position. No doubt about it. But when this thing hums, it's a scary fucking machine. And when you are a quarterback of the team, when things are all humming, you're what revs the engine. When all of it's humming, you're what makes this puppy go. And when you're down 26-7 and you're at home and it's tense and everybody's feeling a certain type of way and you can feel the aggravation throughout the fans, and you show up and deliver with an incredible second half to stun the Rams. You saw the faces of all the players on the sidelines as they were dapping each other up afterwards. The Rams were trying to get their lick back. Is that what the kids say these days? They were trying to get their lick back. Like, they came out, their social media team, they were playing clips of Eagles media members and opinions and what happened last year in the divisional round. They thought they should have won that game, but Jalen Carter was huge. How ironic that Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, those two again were massive. And I tried telling everybody, I put out clips everywhere. Even if the passing game isn't spectacular, and it wasn't for half the football game, they still do have enough to win because they are a special group. They'll find it. Now, their passing game eventually helped them secure the win, so you needed it, but you only got it for 2 quarters. 2! I'm in love with this group. I really am. I'm also in love with Emilio Cigars. Let me tell you something. There's nothing better than an Eagles win and then an Emilio cigar touching your lips. There's only one cigar to smoke on this planet, on planet Earth, and that's an Emilio cigar. And you could click the link down below in the description. It'll go to their website. You'll see all the options for you. You can use promo code Brodes10 for 10% off your purchase. It's a no-brainer. Old school roots, new school attitude, locally owned, 3rd generation, and made at Fabrica Oveja Negra in Nicaragua. So this is as serious of a cigar as you will find. Do me a favor. If you are a cigar smoker, I'm telling you right now, give them a shot and your life is going to be changed. You're only going to be smoking Emilio cigars because you're going to realize real quick, this is perfection. This is the Jalen Hurts of a cigar. This is the Philadelphia Eagles being 3-0 of a cigar. So do not be a fool. For me, for the Eagles, I'm telling you, get yourself an Emilio cigar today. Awesome, man. Just awesome. Big throws to AJ on 3rd down. What if you're down? I love that one. What if you're down? And those early possessions, man. How about Jahan Dotson and Devontae Smith running the same route 1 yard away from each other? It looked like Jalen had a good throw to Devontae with the dot as he was running to the sidelines, but Smitty couldn't get it because Jahan Dotson got his hand. Why are they so close? There was a play where the offensive line wasn't even set, and it almost looked like it was supposed to be that way, like they were trying to have a cute trick play where the offensive line didn't even have their hands in the dirt, and they were just snapping the ball quick. And then, Jalen gets popped. Jalen got rocked a couple of times. That offensive line was rough there, and, Matt Pryor's in the game. Matt Pryor can't play. Matt Pryor can't play. I can't believe they didn't assess that earlier. I can't believe it took them so long to recognize that. But that's what we were seeing, man, over and over again. Things like that. It was so hideous for them to finish it off as strongly as they did. And, I was thinking to myself, as the Rams were getting into field goal position, if they make this field goal, what's my stance, right? Because what I'm not going to do is tell you the importance of a win is so important that even if you win ugly, it's so prideful. A win is a win is a win is a win, and you need to win. And Jalen's unbelievable attribute and skill set is win, 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 win. So if they were to lose that game and he looked strong to bring you back, I wouldn't have been happy, right? You lost. Winning is the most important thing, and you lost. So I wouldn't have been thrilled, but you could see that there are so many things to build off of that I would have at least respected their fight. I would have earned more respect instead of laying down and going down. Because, you can pack it in. We're 2-0. It's not our day. We can't stop the run. Our offense can't do anything. We can't score unless it's the beginning of the game when Bond gets an interception and then, you put up 7 early. But outside of that, it was non-existent. There's something ain't right now, and we're going to lose this one, and we'll try and get back against Tampa Bay of all teams which is a scary thought. But I was just trying to figure out how I'd feel if they lost on a heartbreaking field goal after taking the lead on a 4th down in the end zone there, being down 26-7. I would have had respect for just the Jalen critics, but they would have probably found a stupid angle like the first half caused them to be in that predicament, and he's the issue why. What do you say now? I just don't understand why you criticize to the level that you do when it's clear his winning energy is contagious. There's something about the way he leads. There's something about the way he takes charge. There's something about the way that he believes in himself and his guys that resonates throughout everybody on the sideline. And without that, you don't survive this game. You don't come back and win. Teams don't win this game. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to be serious with yourself. If you're not a special team, you don't win this. It kind of reminds me, it's different, but it reminds me of against the Giants back when Jake Elliott drilled that 62-yarder, right? That was what kind of pushed that Eagles team into the run that they went on. I believe that this type of win was so special, so unique, so rare. It was so important that it can throttle them into a nice window here. And, that doesn't mean they're not going to lose a game. They're going to lose a game. I think they're going to win 14 football games, so they're going to lose a couple of games. But there was something that happened in this game that normally happens to a team that's got it. And I'm seeing a bunch of national guys, like Colin Cowherd, for example, tweet out, this is what the Eagles do. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but the Eagles win. The Eagles win. It's what they do. And for some reason, Jalen haters in this town really despise whenever that phrase is thrown around because it doesn't look the way Josh Allen throws it. It doesn't look the way Lamar throws it. It's enough of a sample size already. I just don't know how much more you need to see when you win a game like this. There's something special about who you are. And the quarterback is the leader of the team. He's the leader of the team. And he rallied this group when everyone doubted him, saying, you can't throw the football. You can't win a game when you're down big. Down 20 points. Down 20 points. And now I know what the excuse is. Well, the Rams, you saw Greg Olsen circle, the middle of the field was open. Well, that's what teams do. Right? That's not going to change. I'm just saying hypothetically, right? If they say, well, the Rams were up so big and they didn't want, well, but that's what teams do in this league. When they're up big, they want to try and play the clock, right? All right, maybe you scored a touchdown, but it took 7 minutes off the clock. They don't want to get beat within a second. But that first touchdown they scored did happen pretty quickly, man. You blink and Dallas Goedert was in the end zone. So that one did happen rather quick. Couple shot, bang, quick shot to AJ, bang, quick shot to Dallas Goedert, and before you know it, we're like, there you go. That's the offense. It sucks that it took your back being up against the wall for you to force yourself to, I guess, get uncomfortable with your play calling, Patullo. That was rough. That was really, really rough. I'll tell you what's not rough. DraftKings Sportsbook. I cashed out nicely on Eagles -3.5, baby. I love it. Your season, your shot. The NFL season is rolling, and every touchdown can bring you closer to a payout with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. You got Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football, if this gets posted before and you get to check it out before then. Thursday night, there's just so many opportunities. Phillies as well. Anytime touchdowns for Jalen, that cashes in nicely a lot. New customers, this one is for you. Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Plus, score over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Brodes. That's code Brodes to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you place your first $5 bet. Plus, over $200 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-879-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Fees may apply in Illinois. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. NFL Sunday Ticket offer for new subscribers only and auto renews until canceled. Digital games and commercial use excluded. Restrictions apply. Additional NFL Sunday Ticket terms at youtube.com/go/NFL. Sunday ticket/terms, limited time offer. And just to tell you how important it is that every win is crucial, even if it's ugly, take a look at what went down this week. What team was it? The Browns. The Browns beat the Packers 13-10. I'd rather win that game if I'm the Packers 13-10 and escape their ugly. I'm just saying, when you say, oh, you won, but it looked so ugly, and I'm going to pick it apart instead of evaluating it and realizing that it should be valued more. I understand saying things need to change in wins, right? Just because you win in September, it's not perfect, and you do need to go back to the drawing board. But I'd rather win 13-10 as Green Bay and be 3-0 instead of going on the road facing Cleveland, a stinky, horrible Browns team, and losing 13-10. It matters. It really, really matters. Just letting you know. Trying to see what up. Man, the Colts look like a wagon, huh? Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones looks like an absolute wagon. 18-25, 228. Jonathan Taylor with 102. Why the hell am I talking about the Colts? I have no idea. All I care about is one thing and one thing only, and that is my friends, the Philadelphia Eagles. That is my quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Can you believe it? What world? What world? This one, baby. This one. Are we watching a win like that? Jordan Davis running it back to the house with the block. Watching that big number 90 move. Kudos to him. And Jalen Carter was called out by Vic Fangio pretty recently during one of his media availabilities and said the guy needs to get in shape more. And I didn't hear this myself, but I was driving into the WIP studios on Saturday afternoon, and Go Birds Radio was on 1 to 3. I was following them. I heard Elliot Shore-Parks and James Seltzer mention this. Something along the lines of Jordan Davis made a comment, and it wasn't an egregious comment or a negative comment. It was supposed to be uplifting. Like, if Jalen Carter needs some help getting in shape, I can totally help him here. But it almost kind of like shook me up to my core where, like, Jalen Carter, we know about why he slipped in the draft and maybe he didn't have his head screwed on tight or whatever. But are we there? Are we there where Jordan Davis took it so seriously that he's now the one that has to pressure Jalen Carter to get in shape at a reasonable level? Did he come in out of shape so much, or is this just the product of maybe missing some training camp stuff, missing game one, and it's September football? Or did he kind of lackadaisically head into the season while Peloton Davis was busting his ass? And if that's the case, you could tell, because I'm not telling you Jalen Carter does nothing out there, but I'm telling you Jordan Davis looks like the dog. He looks like the definer. He looks like who the Eagles defense is all predicated about, him and Zach Bond. It looks like that. And I thought it was going to be Jalen Carter, the machine, that is the best defensive tackle in all of football. Jordan Davis is the personality of this group, and it's showing. Kudos to him, man. That fifth-year option thing was the real deal. This dude just ran a touchdown back on a blocked field goal, and he was everywhere. Third down plays, man. This defense making fourth down plays. He's setting the tone. As much as I give Jalen the love for what he does, I think a combo of Bond and Davis, they're setting the tone with that defense. Okay, let's take a couple calls here.
Jordan Davis, are you kidding me? MVP of the game. I have to emphasize this, bro. He's the one that stopped Matt Stafford on that 3rd and 2. He's the one that gave that offense an opportunity to come and win that game. Unbelievable, Jordan Davis. Go Birds.
It was unbelievable. Now, A.J. Brown spoke after the game. Me personally, I truly believe we got so many good players on this team, and at times you can feel like we're being conservative, and I don't think it should be like that. Let your killers do their thing and play fast and play aggressive. Not saying that we haven't been, but me personally, that's what I would like. Obviously, we're going to run the ball, and we're going to set up the run off the pass and the pass off the run. But we have a lot of good players here, and we should just let them go. That sounds like blaming the play calling. That sounds like blaming the play calling on the very lackadaisical vibe, the very vanilla crap let's go make plays. And I think that's what they were pressured to do because they were down so much, is we got to let it rip. We got to let them cook, and there's no other alternative because what we're doing isn't working. And I like that out of AJ. That's good. That's good leadership. That's high-quality stuff here because it's the truth, you know? Everyone's like, oh, A.J. Brown's going to one out, A.J. Brown, this, that. No, or you can come together and figure it out like you did last year. Last year it was, let's commit to the run game and make it pop. And then this year it seems like teams are figuring out a way to stuff Saquon a bit, although I think that will get better. I think as the season moves along, you'll see that sort of take another step. But this is their version now of, hey, we went to Saquon heavily last year, and that was our switch at the bye. Maybe this is that moment. This is the bye moment. And I like this. This is what happens when you speak out loud and organically you come up with thoughts here. I'll probably let this marinate over the whole night and use this as a topic of a show moving forward this week, because this is essentially, this is the moment where they met together at the bye to change their agenda. They were forced to do this. They had to do this. It worked. I got to imagine they ripped the Band-Aid off. For whatever reason, the Band-Aid was there. I don't know why it was there, because there was no skin showing. There was no blood flowing on your kneecap. You scraped it. Get the fuck up and let's go. So they ripped the Band-Aid off of the conservative view, and maybe now it's full throttle moving forward. I got to hope and pray that's the case, because you saw it now. What else more do you need to see? I mean, you saw it. So if you're Kevin Patullo and Nick Sirianni, and part of my fear is, because as much as Nick Sirianni is Mr. CEO, when you're CEO, you don't just watch from a distance and then never get your hands in the dirt. You watch from a distance to make sure everything's moving along correctly. And then when it doesn't, you have to step in and fix it. That's part of your duties. It's not just you blame everybody else. But what if the reason why it looks this bad is because whenever Nick Sirianni is the top voice offensively, he's a big part of it. Like Kellen Moore was here because of Howie, and then was given autonomy to do stuff. Kevin Patullo may not want to step and override Nick Sirianni, and maybe a lot of this discourse with the offense is because Nick Sirianni is the top offensive mind again, and whenever he's the top offensive mind, it looks similar to this. And maybe the Nick Sirianni portion of this is a bigger deal, more so than Patullo. And I can't rule that out. So that's why it's like, well, I need my CEO head coach to step in. Well, maybe him stepping in is why it looks this gross, because it always seems to do that whenever he's more of a priority with the offense. But I'm hoping this A.J. Brown quote fires everybody up and kicks it into gear. Let's go to Carmen.
A win is a win, dude. Look, man, I can talk all day about Kevin Patullo and the first half, but it was a tale of two Johnsons. Lane Johnson leaving the game had a big impact. And Matt Pryor should never play right tackle ever again. But Fred Johnson changed the game. And Jalen had time to throw the ball. And the holes were open. Excuse me. But the defense, dude, that's what I want to talk about. Especially in the first half. Holding them to field goals instead of touchdowns had a giant impact. And it all paid off in the end. Jordan Davis, too. On special teams, my man. The most underrated impact of the game.
Well, considering they had no idea how to catch a damn kick and then they turn it around like that. Here's Jalen after the game. There wasn't any doubt in my mind one of those guys were going to make a play on that field goal. But win, lose, or draw, we were going to be extremely critical about this game. So that's what he does, though. You know, he's not like after a win and it was super ugly and, you know, like the 12-10 type of style wins. Hey, I'm happy with the win. We got work to do. Well, how about this one? Happy with the win. We got work to do. I mean, it's just steady. And the fact that he shows belief in his crew, there wasn't a doubt in my mind someone was going to make a play on that field goal. I'm telling you, he speaks it into existence. Here's the Colin Cowherd tweet I mentioned earlier. Of course it was blocked. Of course the Eagles ran it back for a touchdown. Of course I lost my favorite bet maybe of the year. Of course, just of course. Oh, man. I ain't run that fast since my 40 time, said Jordan Davis on the sidelines to Mike Garafolo. I love this. Jalen Hurts, we did not quit. I'm very proud of that. I'm not proud of how we started. I'm proud of everybody not giving up. I could cry. Jalen Hurts is 17-0 in his last 17 games, including the playoffs, which was a Super Bowl victory. Missed. You're up next, my friend.
Brodes. Oh my God. So much that can be said about this game. My mind's going 1,000 miles a minute right now, but look, everybody was disappointed at halftime. Everybody was ready to say, yourself included, Kevin Patullo this, and the offense can't do that. And there was reason to say it, because while they did look ugly, I think we also were downplaying the fact that they looked pretty good to come out at the start of the game, and then they lost Lane Johnson, which is not only a huge loss, especially against a team that has the pass rush that the Rams do, but you bring in Matt Pryor, who completely lays an egg and looks terrible out there. They immediately start attacking him. And, I was as mad about the play calling as everybody else, and I didn't like the look of it, and I'm crafting my own theories, and I get it. But they were punishing that terrible line play when we've already kind of haven't seen that, full rock offensive line that we're used to quite yet this year. And then their boy Fred comes in and locks it down, and now all of a sudden we've got an offense, and you unleash Jalen, and AJ gets involved, and the defense making incredible plays when they need to. Our 2 blocked field goals, and even Nick tries to piss me off at the end of the game by burning that timeout for no reason, letting the Rams keep theirs, which they use in a huge moment to be able to set up their field goal. But it doesn't matter.
You're right, it doesn't, but that was another key component as well that we would have been picking apart if this ended differently. Wow. All right, listen. I see all your phone calls. If I did not get to them, I plan on using a lot of these calls throughout the week because that was a fun, emotional one. I promise you all week long we're going to be talking about this victory and what this means moving forward and this team just in general, because that was chaos, right? I mean, that was just flat-out chaos, and I don't even know what the hell I said over the last 35 minutes. I was just so fired up. You guys are the best. I love you. Go Birds. 3-0. Holy fuck.